Howdy, folks. This video is from a show I recently did on Cameron Bertuzzi's channel, Capturing Christianity. If you like it, do all the YouTube things to let YouTube know to show the video to others. Be sure to like, comment, and share the video. And I am trying to grow my channel, so be sure and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Don't forget to check out Capturing Christianity and support the work that Cameron is doing there. Hope you enjoy this.
Absurd Scandal. Thoughts on Joseph Jordan of MUFON's work on Christians instantly stopping abduction in Jesus' name. His interviews on this converted him with hundreds of cases.
Well, I would like to see the documentation on that. I think that would be very interesting evidence. But I have looked for such evidence and have not found it. I've heard anecdotal reports, but a couple of thoughts. The first one is, like one place I looked for this is in Hugh Ross's book, because he's an evangelical. And so I would expect him to use this as an argument in his book, but he didn't. And so I found that significant. Also, here's the thing. Demons are rule breakers. That's why they're demons. So if you say, get out in Jesus' name, I don't know how much folks know about exorcism, but it can take a lot to get a demon out. And if these things were demons, I wouldn't expect them to stop just because you say stop in Jesus' name. Demons that are determined to do you harm are going to do you harm. And they're not going to be that easily stopped, not if they've taken the trouble to show up in physical form. So, given how difficult it can be to get a demon out through exorcism, I wouldn't expect a simple verbal command by an ordinary layperson to have much effect on them. There was something else I was going to mention in that connection as well. Oh, yeah. In addition to anecdotal reports of people saying, yeah, I said stop in Jesus' name, and they did, there are also anecdotal reports of the opposite, of where people says stop in Jesus' name, and the gray aliens say, we don't care about your religion. So that argument kind of cuts both ways.
I was going to mention that the exorcists that I've talked with, they all basically agree on the point that in order to be possessed by a demon, or maybe not in cases of vexation or oppression, but in order to actually be possessed, you've got to invite that in. And so a lot of the demons, that's one of the reasons, well, maybe you can comment on that, but what I was going to say is that one of the reasons why a demon will resist, even though you say, in Jesus' name, come out of them, is because they'll say, well, this person invited me in, so I have a right to be here. So it's not like a situation where you just say a magic incantation and then you do away with the situation. It seems like there's a little bit more going on there when you the person's will is involved, and so it's not as clear cut as just like say the thing and then it stops.
Yeah, so we're in an area where the Catholic Church doesn't have a teaching, and so this is an area of theological speculation, and exorcists themselves are not all agreed on this. I know one group of exorcists does advocate the kind of theory that you're talking about, but not all of them do. In fact, I've seen other exorcists say, look, we really shouldn't be blaming the victim here, because there are people who get possessed who don't seem to have any fault at all. Like the little boy who has had a demon that caused epilepsy from birth in the Gospels. There's no evidence that he as a tiny child, invited a demon in, even like Father Gabriel Amorth from Italy, who I'm not the biggest fan of. He says some stuff that's right some of the time, but he also has some wild theories. But he agrees that most people who get possessed are not at fault. I also have a second concern about this theory that, you can think of this as the legal entitlement theory, that demons will not enter you unless they're legally entitled to. The problem is that if demons were such rule observers that they will not enter your body, your property, without your consent, then if they follow rules to that extent, then they will all leave immediately as soon as you hang up the eviction notice. And experientially, they don't. They hang on. They try to stay in a person. And my theory of what actually one of the principal factors that gets them to leave is their aversion to holiness. What you're essentially doing in an exorcism is setting off a holiness stink bomb. You're trying to build up so much holiness with the prayers and the holy water and the people praying outside and the fasting and saying Jesus' name and the litanies and so forth. You're trying to make it intolerable for the demon to stay, and that's why they finally leave, because they can no longer tolerate the holiness you're shoving in their face. So I don't think this legal transaction based theory is well supported by the evidence of what actually happens in these cases. And certainly there are different views among exorcists, and I tend to agree demons are more like bears than rule followers. They'll attack if they see an opportunity, and we can't count on them following rules. But that's how I'd look at it.
And before we go, just a reminder to do all those great YouTube things. You can help my channel grow by liking, commenting, and sharing the video. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you always get notified when I have a new video. These days, I have multiple videos coming out every week. Thanks so much, and God bless you.